Disclaimer. The content presented in this show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of any individuals or organizations mentioned. Statements made about public figures or entities are based on publicly available information and are not intended to harm or defame any person or business. This show relies on fair use of social media posts, which are presented in good faith for the purpose of commentary and criticism. Viewers and listeners are advised to form their own opinions.
Circle Back, part of the Hammer Betting Network and presented by Underdog. I'm your host, Rob Pizzola. Joined to my left, it's Kirk Evans. It's Geoff Fienberg. It's Jacob Gramegna producing today. We have a jam-packed show ready for you today. Bunch of topics to talk about. Before we do, make sure that if you're not subbed here on Circles Off, you do click that subscribe button. Over 50% of you watching last week are not subbed to the channel. Doesn't take much. Just hit subscribe. And if you do enjoy the content, do let us know. Hit that thumbs up down below. Tells us that we're doing something good. Also helps with the YouTube algorithm. So sub, hit that like button. But let's get right into it, Jacob. Zero tolerance. What do we got here?
So this story came from the CEO of DubClub, but it originated with some investigative work done by Spinfluencer. I think this is some of the best stuff that he's done as of late, coming out with a bit of an expose, if you will, on a user called @mood4bets, who was consistently sharing screenshots of these big tickets on FanDuel, where they were claiming to hit these insane lottos on a regular basis. Spinfluencer wrote here, what the DubClub scammer failed to realize is that FanDuel adds the total wager amount into the one on FanDuel payout. So in this instance here, there's a screenshot from @mood4bets that shows a Chris Dunn first basket for the Clippers plus 500, $1,800. One on FanDuel was $9,000. But as Spinfluencer points out correctly, if on FanDuel, the one on FanDuel would include the original stake in the winnings. So it says 9,000 instead of 10,800. This is not the only example of such. Spinfluencer also points out that this Young FC Utrecht was 1,600 total wager plus 340, and it should say won 7,040, but instead it says won 5,440 because again, the Photoshop, I guess, or the shopped image here does not include the correct outcome from FanDuel. So very under the radar, but should have been more easily spotted, I would suggest. So Spinfluencer called this person out. A lot of people jumped on it. And the CEO of DubClub came on Twitter to defend the platform. This is from Ryan Gartner, I guess. Sorry if I mispronounced names, by the way. We'll talk about more later. We have zero tolerance policy for misleading people on DubClub_win, especially if you fake plays. Per our terms of service, earlier today, our team deplatformed a DubClub partner due to multiple allegations from users, which it's not confirmed, but I'm going to very much assume it comes from @mood4bets here. DubClub exists to help people win more together. But if you know anything about DubClub, it's a pick selling service. It acts as basically the middleman. It is something that helps pick sellers find more customers to sell picks to. And it's a good business model, but as many rightfully pointed out, if you're going to deplatform people for misleading their users, that kind of takes away from the entire service because Foes in Poker says here, what about the long-term losers pretending to be profitable sports bettors, which makes up a majority of your pick sellers? That way people can actually win together. And then in parentheses says this won't happen because their entire model turns to dust, which indeed it does. Fosen also said they contacted me when I was posting Le 10, so LeBron 10 plus points, and NFL moneyline parlays, LMFAO. How are those types of bets helping people win more together? Are you serious? Hey guys, make sure to bet LeBron to score 10 points and parlay the moneyline favorites this week. Thanks for the subscription money. And it's some screenshots of DubClub reaching out. Our own people on the panel here, you have some experience with DubClub reaching out, do you not?
I have been reached out to by DubClub. I think Geoff several times has received DubClub DMs before.
I got 3 going back to early 2023, and then as early as as early as this, like January, Rob. I just went to look at it. I've never replied to any of them. I didn't even notice that this one from a year ago in November, they sent me a link to my own content previewing the Bermuda Championship golf tournament.
Okay.
Like a Nutlow football season golf tournament. This content is fire. Awesome stuff. Are you giving all your content away for free on YouTube these days? Ooh. ? We can grow your business. This is from February of this year. We can grow your business an additional 20% with our ecosystem and marketing. What do we need to do to get you to join?
I got Tuesday, February 25th. If I told you partnering with DubClub would make you significantly more money, would that open your mind to a 20-minute chat, no strings attached? I did respond with, "Are you trolling me?" And I did not receive.
Imagine you are like a lower, like you just have a couple thousand followers. You are selling pics. Like that's probably, and you're newer. Like it's probably really flattering to think like, oh, they're reaching out to me. They want me to be part of their ecosystem.
It is my understanding, because a lot of people have messaged me about not just this platform, others before, where the tactic is to just like, it's basically like law of numbers, right? Reach out to as many people as possible. They literally will reach out to people who don't even bet on sports to say like, this is an opportunity for you to show what you're made of. It's getting as many people on the platform as possible. I mean, candidly, the business model for DubClub, I know that they did like we talked about this, they did a capital raise, I want to say a few months ago, where I don't remember the valuation, I should have had my ducks in a row beforehand, but they raised at a pretty decent valuation. The business model is really good, like when you consider the state of the space, but it's also incredibly frustrating to see the CEO of the company go on and on about like protecting the integrity, and like the entire business model is built off of deception, if we're calling it out for what it is.
Yeah, so one, I've got to catch me up to speed on your 2024 plans. Where will you be sharing most of your MMA content this year? I don't know where they got that from, but...
Copy and pasted the wrong message.
Yeah, exactly.
You bet a lot of MMA, don't you?
I've literally never bet MMA in my life.
I thought you were tailing Man of the Library's epic
You're right.
21-fight win streak or whatever.
Other than that, but they should send Man of the Library that message. But yeah, it's one of those things, like you said, it's a really good business model, and someone is going to always fill that vacuum, but that still doesn't mean that you're not a piece of shit for being the one who fills that vacuum, because it is such a bad, shitty product, especially having the tagline, let's win more together, which is just clearly ridiculous. But also, I like the idea of this terms and conditions that if anyone misrepresents themselves, like Spinfluencer is the one who found this. I would like to see DubClub present us with any other person that they've done an investigation on and found was misleading their clients or their subs and kicked off the platform. Not some random Twitter account who it then went to their attention.
Maybe investigate at SGP_Vic, who quote tweeted the post from Ryan, the CEO of DubClub, and said, "Appreciate you guys looking into it and taking immediate action. We will continue to clean up the gambling space for everyone." SGP_Vic, notorious for also perhaps some fraudulent record keeping, and DK_DFS says, "Insert try not to laugh gif." So yeah. I would be curious if DubClub has ever found these people internally with their investigations. I agree with you, Kirk.
Well, they wouldn't, because it's not in their best interest to actually do so. They just want to have as many sellers on the platform as possible. Like, I don't follow DubClub on Twitter. I don't follow, what was his name, Ryan Gartner, the CEO. Now, I found out that he follows me when I was prepping for the show today, but I was like, okay, what are these guys regularly tweeting about? Like, what is DubClub tweeting about? What's Ryan Gartner tweeting about? They are basically just promoting handicappers who are on like hot streaks on the platform. This guy won this many units in April, don't miss out on it, or whatever. Like, that to me is very misleading and deceptive. From what I can tell, you cannot find long-term records for anyone on DubClub. I've seen Ryan responding to people on Twitter for months now, saying like that feature is coming, but it's not there. Like, so the entire platform is built off of deception. You can't say you have a zero tolerance policy for misleading people when all you're doing is promoting hot streaks. They have this thing where welcome to the like 100K club or the 250K club, where they are presenting pick sellers with like checks. It's like, you've earned 250K from selling on DubClub. Like, that's insane. That they're publicly, I understand why it's happening, but like from the outside looking in, if you know about sports betting, that's like basically 250K of fraud that's being publicly reported on at this point. Like, that's the amount of money that people who have no business earning from like fraudulent activity are earning. So honestly, I find it disgusting. This really bugs me. And I get it, but like, just at this point, like, Ryan, you know what your platform is. You don't have to pretend like it's something it's not at this point. This is just extremely hypocritical.
Yeah, well, he does have to pretend,
Right.
but he's still just like a piece of shit for having to do that. But like, obviously, he couldn't come out and say, "Oh, like, we don't care about this person who's faking picks. Our entire platform is misleading." But that is what he's doing. Like,
At this point, they just need to pee on you and tell you it's raining.
yeah.
Like, that is essentially, they've built the platform. I don't know the number, but they've got a great evaluation for it. Very smart idea. Now they've got to, churn the grift.
Right. But okay, this particular tweet, right? Putting it out there that you've bet. Who is this servicing as a client? Because like all the recreational bettors that are willing to buy on DubClub or any pick services, they don't really give a shit. Like they don't. They really.
I
It's
actually think this
serving
made
his
them
own
look
like
a bit
permission
better.
structure of like acceptable of like what he should be, of what he should do. It's like doing the least possible, like the lowest possible effort is getting rid of that one guy making this tweet. That's it.
It
Like,
got
we've done
the
our
good
part,
press
we've
from, like,
responded
is
to
the
it.
the average
expectation
person.
that people are going to change their minds on the platform because of this tweet?
There's an expectation. There's a fact that just we live in a super hyper niche bubble.
Yes.
And like the conversation we're having, stays in a super niche bubble, and it doesn't penetrate the people for which they're speaking to.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the point I'm getting at. Is like, if you just go on with your day to day and you don't even address the situation, nothing changed. This is almost like counterintuitive. It just gets people like me upset. Like, if you look at the vast majority of the quote tweets and responses to this, it's not a bunch of people saying, "Thank you for cleaning up the platform." It's like, where the fuck are the pick records? Why is this guy on here? Why is that guy on there? I bought from this guy and he's a loser. Like, you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I get it. You're probably better off saying nothing.
Yeah, just don't
Sure.
have to embrace
It's like
this.
when Raz goes annoying and tweets about how they're losing but they're winning. Like, no, you have a good service, you have a reputation. Like, you're better off saying nothing. I didn't mean to start that, but yeah,
Can't blame Kirk this time.
throwing like the little people, throwing like you a bone here, what they're trying to do probably doesn't serve anyone any good. Doesn't serve them good. You're not satisfied, and it just riles up people. But they know they're just riling up like the 1%.
I actually don't think they know. I think they tweeted this thinking, like, for the person who doesn't really have an opinion on DubClub, if they saw that story and then saw this, they would just kind of go on about their day being like, "Oh, DubClub's fine," and didn't think that every person who has a clue about DubClub would go and quote tweet this, and it probably was net negative for them. But that's what I think they probably were thinking.
Yeah, it just seems tone deaf to me.
For
like,
sure.
your entire platform is built upon convincing people that they are sharp. Like, literally, if you've seen, Kirk didn't respond to the outreach from DubClub. You didn't respond. I responded. Are you trolling me? I didn't get a response. But I've seen
They're putting air in your tires.
exactly. They're pumping you up. It's like, you're really hot. You could be making a lot of money off this. You're under. Have you considered? Like, this is the entire. Just embrace. Like, don't lie to my face.
Yeah,
is
well,
what-
don't tell me my shitty golf video about the Bermuda Championship, which I probably didn't even want to do.
Right.
It's football season. Was fire because
Yeah.
it wasn't.
They probably didn't even watch it, dude. It's like this is my whole thing. Like, you have so much. We're not dumb. Don't treat people like they're dumb. That's my entire thing on it. You want to run the platform? That's fine. You're entitled to. It's in the space. We're entitled to have our opinions on these types of platforms. Don't treat the audience like they're dumb. And you disagree with me on that, Geoff?
No, I mean, I feel like most corporations can just treat people like they're dumb because they are, and they don't need everyone to subscribe, but they get enough.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they know there's enough dumb people out there who will bite the bullet. So who cares if the fucking smart, the smart aleck knows our what we're about? There's dumb people out there for us to get to.
Agreed.
If we gotta swim through like 5 normies to get to one Dumbo, we'll get there.
Straight out of the Fezzik playbook right there with the Dumbo. You guys DMing again?
Nope, he's not. I'd like a baseball play.
Yeah. Well, you don't. He's on an epic 10-1 NBA run, which immediately got me to go to pregame to check out how he's doing in baseball. You don't want the baseball plays. They've been very, very bad. You don't see mentions of that on Twitter.
I follow Steve, so is he just tweeting less? Like, I feel like I don't know. I haven't spoken to him, heard from him for a while. I think the outing of those money line things at March Madness really.
We've also made a concerted effort not to include every single one of his tweets in the show anymore either. It's kind of getting to be overkill, I think, at some point.
Hope he's having a lovely summer. Hope the laps in the pool are going well.
All right. Word from our sponsor here. Let's talk about our sponsors at Underdog because they're handing out yet another gimme pick that you're not going to want to miss. Right now, if you're a new user and you sign up using the link in the description below and you use promo code CIRCLES, you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a gimme pick to get you started. That gimme is Tyrese Halliburton higher than a half point tonight. One single bucket, you've already cashed that leg. It's about as easy as it gets. Here's how it works. You just pick your favorite player stats. It could be points, assists, rebounds. You go higher or you go lower, and you're in. You build a quick lineup, lock it in, enjoy the sweat. Our viewers and listeners have been all over Underdog recently, especially with these gimme picks showing up almost every night. If you haven't tried it yet, this is your chance. Hit the link in the description below. Use code CIRCLES and sign up. Get that bonus. Halliburton as a layup. Start off your week right with Underdog. Back to the show.
Next topic is Man of the Library, who had quite a week, quite a couple. I think it was 24 hours. Amazing stuff.
But before you continue, Jacob, I gotta give you your flowers for the rundown today, and putting it as Man of the Library. As Geoff has been known to pronounce it before. I got a good.
We got to get there quicker.
Yeah,
had to do it. Well, Man of the Library posted some plays ahead of some fights, and as abnormally dissed and Gingy Bets showcase, those plays did not win, and then they were no longer seen on Twitter. So he bet a fight to go the distance at minus 550. Then later on, when the line moved against him, and it was minus 480, he doubled down. He bet once again, this time at minus 480. Did not showcase the amount bet, which a lot of people don't do, but did showcase that he was willing to say price got better, added at minus 480. But then when this lost, after saying that this was... I forget the exact term. Oh, it was, Gingy Bets puts it here. Not so fast, Man of the Library. We all saw you give out, quote, start your day with a freebie, minus 550, end quote. That lost. You also blocked out your weak-ass wager amount, now deleting the post, and showcased a screenshot of the deleted post and when the post was active. So I think the issue was Man of the Library actually quote tweeted the original post, which allowed it to stay on Twitter a little bit longer, which was the mistake if you're going to delete a play after it loses, which we've showcased in the show before. I remember he had a Sixers money line bet at Heavy Juice that ended up losing, that got deleted, and then tried to laugh it off. We all know how scammy it is. Go ahead.
It's a good thing that these grifters are so dumb because they could get away with way more. Like the last story, the guy couldn't figure out, like, had he never bet on FanDuel before, this story he couldn't figure out to not delete the quote tweet as well. Like, it would be hard to catch these guys if they had a brain.
I have a very different opinion on this entire situation. I don't think that. I think this was entirely intentional. Man of the library.
You give him too much credit.
Way too much
It's
credit.
not credit. You don't understand the person at his core. He is, one, a pathological liar,
Yes.
but two, he has main character syndrome.
Yes.
He needs to be the center of attention. Like, he will watch this segment of the show 4 times over this week because he loves it when people talk about him. Like, he is in every spaces every night. He's in Elf's, even when they're like beefing, he still shows up. He shows up in Omar. He shows up wherever. He runs his own spaces. He does this all day. He needs to be the center of attention. He's been accused so many times before of deleting plays. He is in like the Sean Perry camp of good or bad. I don't care why people are talking about me. They're talking about me. He even posted this week what his Twitter engagement numbers are publicly. This is what he cares about. Like, it is a shtick.
He is Sean Perry without rich parents. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, he knew he was going to get caught doing this, Geoff. He's not an idiot. He knows that he has an engaging account. He has 9,000 followers. He is not a complete moron that's like trying to scrub this from the records. He's done this millions of.
He knows how the CIA and Mossad work. Like,
Yes.
you got to scrub the records.
Wouldn't there
he knows how to do
He
that.
offered an excuse for why he deleted it.
Okay, yeah, he
What'd he
did.
say?
So the excuse was after people. He was started to block people, by the way, who were calling him out and said that this is the stuff that is just cancer on this app. 2 more scumbags. It's people who are reaching out. I'll read the DMs here from Tryman. You are the biggest bitch, and you will get capped talking about this. Your daughter deserves a real man.
Oh.
Go suck more dick, you obese. And then there's a
That's
very
going a little
that's-
too far. I don't like when
that's
people
going
bring
too
the
far.
daughter.
Absolutely.
I would never do that.
It says
I mean-
you'll regret this. Yeah, that's definitely going too far. I do like when somebody goes too far. The DMs. I do like exposing their handle. I don't like when people post and block it out. Like, they deserve to get hated
sure.
on. Anyways, who else wants to get blocked? And Brett finds that NBA Green Beans, maybe not the best person to call somebody else out, but says, gives out a minus 550, no sweat loser, deletes the play after, is now whining about other people being cancerous. This guy's not human.
But he's not a real human because
Even-
this is not real.
Even George jumped in. GRP said, good news, no more Man of the Library on Elf Spaces. His quote-unquote game scripts were the worst. But yes, this is the excuse. Alex Chris Rich said, just realized you deleted your losing bet. Care to explain? And Man of the Library said, someone made a very racist and hateful comment directed at a marginalized group. I felt that it was the correct thing to do, that the message was not spread further. Thanks for the great
A
question.
fucking martyr now.
What
You know,
does this even mean?
I don't know.
can you not hide comments on Twitter? Can't you just hide a comment
man.
in the thread? Like, if someone made a racist or hateful
Yeah,
comment, just hide the
I
comment.
believe you can do that.
That
This is
is
what I'm saying.
He has perfected like bait and switching within
This is bait.
conversation.
This
Look
is
at
bait.
like, if someone comes and keys your car, do you set the whole car on fire afterwards? Like, if someone graffitis your garage, you don't burn down the entire house. Like, it.
Do you think this is true?
No.
I don't know if this is true.
Well, there might have
Like,
been.
there might have been there might
doesn't
have been
matter
a
if it's
racist
true,
comment,
Geoff.
but obviously
He's
he
just
didn't delete-
seeking the attention. This is what I'm trying to get.
But hang
at.
on, wouldn't there be more attention had he left the tweets up, because then people would like
No.
share those
But
tweets?
hold on, he showed if someone said something overtly racist
Yes.
and gross, he would do the same thing as a lot of us would do if we got like a disgusting DM.
Yes.
We would like almost quote tweet it to
Expose
put you
the
on
person.
blast.
Which he did, by the way. He actually posted a racist term on his own account, like I showcase here. I blocked it out. It's a racist
Well,
term.
he also has accused people on Spaces of being racists, and then saying the N word to like. You know what I'm getting at? It's not real. This
yeah.
cannot be real.
But sometimes it's fun, like that conversation you're referencing about him. It was him and Nadeau.
Yeah.
And they, they're both, Geoff is friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean everyone, but like, he's got like a lot of, I don't know, just them having the debate on saying the N-word, Nadeau and Library was one of my favorites.
Well, if you just think about like the entire character arc of Library, like none of the stuff makes any sense, right? There's definitely a pathological liar component to it, right? He's talked about so many, Floyd Mayweather on the speed dial.
If you could literally, like, what Man of the Library presents himself as,
yes,
like that CV, like that headline, that bio,
yeah.
And what he actually is crazy.
The guy got out of bed for $1,500 to get fucking rocked in the ring by think about that again. The whole arc of that. Library was on top. He went in the bathroom. Brett wouldn't go in and fight him. He had that over him for the rest of his life. Then for $1,500, he said, I'm going to step in the ring with him. He got fucking clocked. Embarrassing, but he's the center of attention again. It always comes back to him being the main character.
He's good at it.
I don't know, but I do feel like you're giving him too much credit in terms of this being calculated. I just think he is an insane person.
Well, that's very possible. That's not
okay.
The tweet. Go back to the tweet about the racist thing. This is one of the funnier tweets ever written. To just even imagine that this is true is so.
This is bait. It's not very bait.
It's just like the most fantasy land, but he lives in a fantasy land, so it makes sense.
And when you interact with him, he lives in a world where like everything is a Simpsons episode. Where like in The Simpsons, if Marge breaks her leg in the new episode next week, she doesn't have a broken leg.
Yes.
Like there's no. So it's like I can do anything, say anything, be anything,
Pretends
and
like
then
it didn't
next
happen.
week it's like a new episode of The Simpsons where the whole story, like there's no carryover in the story. But you listening, following, watching, you like have these puzzle pieces in your mind and none of it fucking connects. This guy, like long before boxing was even in the elf space vertical universe.
Yep.
From the initial elf space, he'd brag about like working with a trainer.
Yeah.
Always a trainer this, my trainer that. No one is running a bigger grift than his fucking trainer.
Because he's not
fucking
working.
His trainer is the Bo Wagner of trainers.
Yes, the guy showed up and in 30 seconds he couldn't breathe in the ring. Like he's completely out of shape. Like there's.
And then it's like, oh, my trainer's not a boxing trainer. He's like a Muay Thai jiu-jitsu trainer. Like everything is a bait and switch, and he's really good at it. And it probably takes 5 interactions with him before you realize it's happening.
Oh yeah, I remember the first ever time I lost it on him was on one of the spaces where I was on with him and Jeff Benson, where he was accusing me of like deleting his BetStamp account because he was winning too much. I wouldn't even have the access to do that. Like, but he makes it so that like you're now on the defense, right? He's definitely a one of a kind. I will say that. I've never encountered anyone in the space that is like.
But that's why he's
there's
valuable.
grifters.
That's why he's
a
valuable.
grifter or whatever. But like,
One of one's rock.
Yes and no. The shtick can get tiresome. I will admit, and I will admit, there's been times where I've had a good laugh at some of the stuff, but now it just like, like
in the now.
Yeah.
Do you believe like him and Elf's marital divorce is real or fake?
I don't believe it. I don't believe anything. I think the entire Elf show is, at this point, I don't want to say scripted like to a T, but I do believe that there's like arcs that they're working towards.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like this is, I almost see the him and Elf beefing right now as a potential like next fight, or like if the Perry fight falls through.
Yep.
Then it's just like a fallback thing to go to, and they've already preset this like beef.
Yeah, I think like with Elf and Library, everything they do is for engagement, is my opinion on both of them. So they will do whatever it takes to get engagement.
Let me do the other tweet here that Library was also on blast for. Like same day, like while he's weathering the storm of the deleted tweet, Tristan Tate, who I don't like his content nor really respect him, but he's a very big online creator, brother of Andrew Tate, who posted a screenshot of his exchange with Man of the Library. Tristan Tate says, I mentioned I bought my friend a Lambo, and this was the comment exchange. Typical, a non-Twitter loser walked into it. And man of the library said, so you turned him materialistic. So Tristan Tate responded and said, fuck it. Do you want a Lambo? I'll buy you a new one. Feeling generous. And man of the library responds, yes, I'm struggling. And Tristan Tate responds, bro, don't be so materialistic. You don't need a Lambo. And there were multiple people who hashtag circle back, SDQL_Redbird picks, Trey535, YG, and Woj Shareline, Dennis Robin Jr.-esque, all three. Thank you for the hashtag circle back to help bring this to our attention as well.
Truthfully, I'd way rather get my ass beat by green beans than have this Twitter thread be public. This is
This is a huge account, actually.
the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
I'm going to see how many followers
But it's not
he has.
for him.
But no. I actually totally disagree. This is man of the library at his core.
Yeah.
Just a grifter, loser.
Agreed.
Like, this is actually the best picture we've ever had of man of the library.
So this is
thread.
3.4 million followers who
But my
were
point to
exposed
you,
to
Kirk,
this.
is that I agree with what you're saying. Like, if this happened to me, I would go in hiding forever. I'd just live in a
Forever.
cave and that's it. Like, I'd never show but for him, he doesn't view it that way. He's not embarrassed by this interaction. There's nothing embarrassing about this because he got Tristan Tate to talk to him. This is my whole thing. It's main character syndrome. It always has been with him. We all laugh at this. Hashtag circle back, haha, let's have a good fucking laugh. He's having a great fucking laugh too. He's not embarrassed by this interaction. Not at all.
I don't think he's embarrassed by this segment either. Like you said, now he's probably going to watch it 6 times.
He's going to cut a little clip. He's going to play it forever on Twitter. He's going to
Look, Pizzola said
Pizzola
this.
said,
He loves me. Pizzola loves me. I told you guys he turned back to loving me.
Of course. But that's my, I don't know, man. I don't, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Man of the Library has irked me for a very long time. Obviously, he's, there was accusations thrown my way, so I feel a certain way about him. I also only listen to the Elf Spaces nowadays when there's a topic that I'm interested in, typically one that revolves around sports betting. Prop Swap was one, the Prophet X, and then Library is always there in these ones offering his opinion that is off. Like, it's just so triggering for me.
When there's exactly. That's
Like, it's
typically
fake sharp stuff, right?
That's when I'm listening to the spaces of when it's something that is like interesting to me. Like we had Alex Kane, all the CEOs of the exchanges with Flop, with Man of the Vig. It was a good conversation, and then Elf would go, Man of the Library, what do you think? And then he would talk for 7 straight minutes, just total nonsense. And then it would go back to being a productive conversation, and that would happen once every half an hour. So yeah, that is the worst. But
All right, let's go to the next topic here.
Ooh.
This comes from Sparring with Reality, SWR Betting, which is an account that does UFC betting content. And the tweet is, if you like money, you like this girl this week. And it's a photo. I don't follow UFC, so I don't know who this fighter is. But it's a photo of a UFC fighter that they're suggesting you bet on. And then they quote tweet their own tweet and say, this post has 25 bookmarks. Honest question, how big of a loser do you have to be to bookmark someone's take on a fight in the hopes of coming back if they're wrong to then shit on them? Hashtag beta bitch boys. Hashtag you sit when you pee. How do we feel about people bookmarking
I think me and
posts?
Geoff just had the exact same
I also
thought.
had the same thought on the bookmarks.
Yeah, they're bookmarking her.
Yeah, the picture.
They like the picture.
I agree. Typically speaking, there is a much higher ratio of bookmarks to views when there is a female involved.
You think like a Taylor Mathis video is getting bookmarked?
Yes.
Yes,
many times.
for the picks, so I can like make fun of her losing picks after.
No, some people maybe.
Okay,
But like the
influencer,
ratio
maybe.
of the 25 people was 24 fucking horny guys who watch the UFC, think she's hot, like this shredded angle, and one guy who might want to fucking troll you if you lose.
There are people who would bookmark to troll at a later time.
I also don't think, and maybe I'm guilty. I bookmark lots of stuff for this show. A lot of times it will be people who take a stance on an opinion, and if it's wrong, we could talk about it.
Can you see who bookmarks? I don't remember.
You cannot see who bookmarks. I don't believe it's loser behavior to bookmark. I actually think that's what Twitter was invented for. Like, you put a take out there, you're publicly going to put a take out there. If you are wrong, you gotta fucking suffer the consequences.
Agreed.
The one thing, like the only thing I've ever done on Twitter or where my wife will be like, that's creepy or weird, is if there is like a holiday picture of the kids or something and that gets bookmarked.
That's messed up, dude.
Yeah, that's...
You're like, who the fuck? And it's always like a couple, but right? So
don't post families to Twitter, man. I posted
No, I
like a
don't use
family
that other-
get-together
For
I
once.
Instagram, man.
Yeah.
I only use Twitter, fuck the other picture books.
Yeah.
But the thing I will say, getting more on track to this, assuming anyone was actually bookmarking this for the tweet, I do think if you think the play is bad, comment
In real time.
in real time.
Yes.
Not bookmarking it so you can circle back afterwards and dunk on them. But I do agree that that's kind of what Twitter is, and you should just expect it.
You like, people are going to come with receipts on any opinion that you publicly have on Twitter. They will, unless you're man of the library, deleting them all. Like, they are going to exist forever, and you just got to own it. You got to be
Totally.
like it doesn't. But yeah, I think he's also just missed the point.
There's one appropriate tweet that could have got sent out here. This post has 24 bookmarks. A lot of my followers have a severe case of the hornies. Like, that's the tweet. Not this tweet. That's the tweet.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Definitely. And also, just in response, I personally do not believe it's loser behavior after the fact to roast somebody. But to Kirk's point, you should be a little bit more vocal with your opinions before it happens.
Like, if you're going to have this like extensive back and forth with them
Yes.
about why their pick sucks, then yeah, you got to say something before. If someone just like chirped a player you like or a team you like or a side you're riding, and you don't like the guy, you can fucking
Well, like
retweet
Flupp
that.
has gone on the record about the Cavs winning the East, right? I'm pretty sure that's been the back and forth where he's like totally mispriced. The Cavs are going to win the East and whatever.
Yeah.
And there's been a back and forth, like people responding, I don't agree, you're an idiot, whatever you want to say. That's fine, but like it would certainly bother me afterwards if I was Flupp and people who like didn't weigh in beforehand then came in to pile on.
But that's going to happen.
It will.
Okay,
100%.
fine. But if I'm Flupp, like Flupp is betting at a level of money where it's like, I don't care that you chirp me that I lost. I'm mad that I lost the money that I lost.
For sure.
It's
Like,
for
that's
sure.
it. Like, a chirp isn't going to make him feel bad. It's him thinking about how many orders he put out on that bet, right?
Totally.
Like, that's what's going to bug him, not someone being like, haha, you were wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I go through my bookmarks from last year, which I haven't deleted, like, I've definitely bookmarked tweets where people make, like, opinions on things where I'm like, I definitely want to torch this guy when this is wrong afterwards.
How many are revealing pictures of women in your
No, like,
bookmarks?
there was one from JJ Gruden last year. I can't remember what it was. There is a 0% chance both the NBA and NHL finals have both series have two teams lead 3-0, going big on the Oilers. That was one. I never got the chance to go back in on him afterwards, but like that's got to be one of the dumbest tweets ever. Like
Of all time.
Yeah, like literally irrelevant.
Like the NBA and
like
NHL are
they're
correlated.
conspiring to like I don't understand.
Okay.
But I do bookmark tweets all the time with the intent of, and some people will say, bookmark this and I fucking bookmark it. I will bookmark it and I will revisit it when you're wrong. And if you're right, I'm never going to say anything. That's
Told
the way it
people
works.
to. I made fun of New York sports fans thinking something about the Ryder Cup. Nonetheless, I just checked the last tweet I bookmarked, and you're right. It's got a lot of those vibes. It's someone who gave the Chargers draft grade an F. So I guess I'm just gonna right.
Yeah, I got it.
Like, I think that's a better bookmark than the Gruden tweet, because the Gruden tweet you can dunk on in live time, and it's still so stupid even if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's different versus the draft grade.
Yeah.
You have to bookmark because you can't really disagree in live time. You can only
draft grades are
revisit.
stupid, but
Oh, totally.
But like, yeah, that is your like. Who cares? But I want that in the chamber for when like the 4th round pick is like a 3 touchdown game or something.
I will definitely, for sure though, if someone puts a prediction out there and they say bookmark this, I guarantee you, if I see it, I do bookmark it. I never.
But you even
revisit them.
remember. You have to
know.
remember.
I know.
Like someone made that, like insert sports take here. Like,
Yeah. I've been known to be the guy that goes on like these mass retweeting sprees whenever something happens.
but
I'm
if
not
you
proud of
can't,
it,
you
but
have to be like timely. Like you can't
Yes.
retweet something about the NBA, a guy making a wrong playoff prediction in like
No, 100%.
August. Like I got you.
You got to get it right away.
have to
gotta be
remember.
prepped for it. I know it's tough. You almost got to send like calendar reminders. We're getting into like way
And then exactly.
way
That's
like
too
sickness
deep.
territory.
and then it's like,
that's
that's
like I got my life.
There's
to
like
live.
actual work going into this, and that's not what you wanted.
Exactly. Before we get to our next topic, I want to tell you a little bit more about the Hammer Betting Network. Hey, quick break from the show. If you've been listening to Circles Off for a long time now, you already know me. I'm Rob Pizzola. I'm one of the hosts here, but I'm also the CEO of the Hammer Betting Network. And I want to take a second to tell you what we're all about. At the Hammer, we're building a sports betting content network that's different. We're not selling you fake Rolexes, rented sports cars, or some other lifestyle fantasy. We're not here to BS our way into clicks or followers. We're fully transparent with our audience. We actually bet, we show and keep track of our records, and we built this network for people who want real, honest insight into how sports betting works from people who live it every day. You can find all of our content over at thehammer.bet, but if you're on YouTube, that's where most of the action is. We've got Hit the Books with Joey Knish and Brad Powers, one of the best college football shows out there, and Forward Progress for the NFL, featuring myself, Hitman, Suma, Judah Fortgang, and a whole lot more every angle, every week from people who actually bet the game. So if you're enjoying Circles Off and you want more content that actually respects your intelligence, subscribe to our other channels on YouTube. Just search for them on YouTube. You'll find them all. No gimmicks, no garbage, just real content for real bettors. All right, per usual, every week we do like to dive into the comments from the week prior. Please utilize that comment section down below. Let us know what you think about any of the topics we talked about today. Is Man of the Library real? Is he fake? What do you think about the DubClub stuff? Also, that tweet we just showed earlier, did he get the bookmarking right or wrong? I definitely was bookmarked because of the female aspect. Let's be real here. But would like your comments down below. And of course, use hashtag #CircleBack on Twitter. We review that hashtag when we prep for the show every week. We try to incorporate as many things that you want to talk about as possible. Going back to last week's comments, we talked about Shedeur Sanders and the prank call that was issued to him. XLF4475 said this was a list of phone numbers for projected first round picks, not a list of drone strike locations. The outrage is comical and outsized, literally a harmless prank. I think we all kind of agreed on that last week. There was some big fines handed down, though.
It's not harmless.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I would disagree here. I don't think it's harmless.
It's only became not harmless because he slid.
Yes.
If he goes
Yeah.
45 minutes later,
Yeah.
it is then a harm. They thought they were. I'm not condoning it. It was bad. They thought they were committing something that would have been landed far less harmless than it ended up being. The guy went day 3.
Agreed. I think some people went way over the top on that particular one. Lior Kozai 3168. Guys, Cousin Sal wrote a book called something like You Can't Lose 'Em All. His whole shtick is being a terrible degen bettor. I don't think anyone who follows him actually expects winning betting advice. He's just a funny guy on the Bill Simmons podcast during football season.
Isn't that what we said?
yeah,
Isn't
I
that how we
agree.
closed the segment, though?
Yeah.
Like you say, he's got Barstool, like Big Cap Portnoy.
Right. I still think, and maybe I'm on an island here, I still think with like the rec content creators, almost like the comedian type of I still think that there is an onus to like not overdo it sometimes. Like if you don't know who everyone knows who Cousin Sal is, but if you don't, like in a small minority and you saw that, you might actually think that like this system bears some fruit. I get
think
it
it depends on how you're presenting it.
Yes.
I do agree with you that if you like are just on Twitter and you're like a degenerate gambler and you're actually not familiar with Cousin Sal,
Yeah.
or the joke part of his like gambling universe, you see the followers, you're like, oh, this guy thinks he's onto something. We had our buddy Tim Anderson once.
Yeah. And
He tweeted like he likes this team tonight.
Yeah.
A guy after the fact wrote, great call, man. I put my mortgage on it. He's never put out that he likes a game again.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
on the podcast, he might do it because people actually listen to the podcast know more
The shtick of like fading him, yes.
Fading him.
Yeah.
Like, but he was so rattled at the thought of that.
Yeah.
That he's like, he's a bright guy. He just, I guess, thought better to people might do that because they just see something, but it's crazy. I don't know. No, sorry.
Well,
I lost
it's
my
like
train of thought. I
at
got
what
excited.
point does the onus come on like the person consuming that content to like parse it? I get that part as well. Like you had this issue with John Hyslop, right?
Yeah.
Remember he was tweeting the stuff of like, if you're down bad, today is a great day to bet it all and win it back or something along paraphrasing.
Exactly.
And you
He
didn't
tweets
like
out like
that.
every day.
Now 99% of his followers, like they know that that's the shtick. Where's the line between not putting like it's a sarcastic tweet, but a lot of people might not get it, and it's the same thing with Cousin Sal, right? Like if that's just like a recreational shtick, fine. But there's some people that are just not going to get it. Is there any onus on the person putting that out? I don't know.
Part of me
really
wants
tough-
to say
tough-
no. Like you are, when you tweet that in your Cousin Sal, you're communicating, at least if in my head, to your audience,
Right?
To your people, to your followers.
Yeah.
So I gotta say that's not honest. I get like being sensitive to it and
Yes.
aware of it, and maybe as simple as plating like a crooked tongue out the mouth emoji, so
Yeah.
people knows like maybe adds a little
Yeah, maybe
context.
there you go, yeah.
To it. But I don't think they can bear any responsibility.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me.
I just really think it's how you present it. Like if a neutral party could read the tweet and it seems like the person earnestly thinks this is like an amazing opportunity, then you've maybe gone too far. But if it's just like kind of part of your brand and you're tweeting like you normally do,
Yeah.
and people know, then I agree the onus starts falling on the person.
Like I am extremely sarcastic with my tweets. That's who I am as a person, though, and it's just like my Twitter's an extension of who I am. I live my life publicly, and there are people who do respond to me thinking that the tweets are serious sometimes, and then I respond and they say sarcasm like doesn't translate well over Twitter or whatever. I try to let people know, but yeah, at some point it's just like. You're not going to appease everybody. Like you simply can't do that. And Cousin Sal, whatever. I think we all kind of know that. I don't want to call him a joke, but like he's not.
But it's like a guy who's
not
like
taking it
obsessed
seriously.
with a team and like a big game. It's like I'm laying it all on this team tonight, and 99% of followers know you're just like a hardcore fanboy.
Well, Trent does that every day as an example, right?
yeah.
Mortal money, like
Keep
that.
him out of
I'm
Toronto.
literally laying it all
Keep
on
that
this
man
team.
away from
Right?
Toronto.
And we all know it's a shtick. Yeah, at some point, you just deal with it. Logan Evans, by the way, not just Logan Evans. We could have picked any. There was at least 20 people who clarified the difference between barbecue and grill last week. BBQ, barbecue, most commonly refers to the type of food in the U.S. When someone says Texas or Kansas City has good barbecue, they have good meat. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and or barbecue sauce. Yeah, I don't think we were confused about...
All the commentators are like, this is all everything we said, and we understood this.
At the very least, it's not like a condescending way of saying it. He's just trying to genuinely
I
explain.
understand.
But
I
we
think a lot
get
of
it. We know.
And my mouth, like, I lick my lips just reading that message.
Oh, man, I could go for some barbecue, like, right after this. I would-
Brisket sounds good, man.
Yeah. But, no, we call barbecue, like ribs, brisket. Yeah, that's barbecue.
My favorite barbecue in the city, the guy got shut down, like went to jail essentially because he stayed open during COVID.
Yeah.
Which is his own thing.
I remember that
But
one.
like here we are years later, and like couldn't you just follow the rules so I could go have my favorite barbecue?
Oh, it's close.
Gone.
close.
He's like gone.
We have a really good spot up in Woodbridge, Memphis barbecue. I think I've made it. Maybe I didn't take you there before.
No, when I go with you, we only go to Ricci's.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only. Yeah, if I'm going up there, it's the only.
Yeah. Right. Well, we were debating the actual appliance.
Grill versus
Versus barbecue. And for us, if someone said to me, like, the grill, I know exactly what they're talking about, but someone could also say, like, the barbecue, and I would also know what they're talking about.
Yes.
Whereas that's,
I would use barbecue more often
Same.
than grill.
If you
If
said,
I was
like-
going out back to grill some burgers, I'd be on the barbecue.
there you go.
Come over
Yes.
like we're having a barbecue.
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that how we would say it? Like,
Yes, we would say that as well.
yeah.
There's listen, we're north of the border here. We have some Canadianisms. It is what it is.
I'll respect it. Like, because I respect the ribs, the brisket, the pulled pork, that if...
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I think the origin of this was that we were calling the appliance a barbecue, and Americans were saying, what the hell are you talking about? That is a grill.
Yeah.
And that's just a difference in terminology.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
I'll
Parentheses,
concede
square
that-
brackets, washroom, restroom, bathroom. Yeah, all these things. AWeb 1110. Drink every time Jacob mispronounces Genty.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he was
Wait,
saying,
how do you see it?
He was saying Genty a lot last week.
Nobody corrected me.
I feel bad. I mean, we fucked up a lot. You also, Jacob, did I listened to the Friday show. You said Zelly, which I've said before as well.
I have never heard that word out loud
Okay, so
in my life until then,
Zelly
because
to-
we have e-transfer in Canada, which
correct.
is
We
way
do
more
not
fucking
have
convenient.
Zelle. We do
Zelle.
not have Zelle in Canada. It is foreign to us. We would never, ever use it or hear the word. There's no advertising. All we've ever seen is...
We don't have Venmo.
Yeah, we don't have Venmo.
I can't even download it from an app store.
Can someone explain to me how outside of Canada there's no e-transfer? I don't get this.
It's got to be like just because they make too much money off of the bank off the money transfer apps. That
Like if I want to send Kirk money through bank account to bank account, he just literally it's auto deposit basically.
Give me your email.
It's here's
That's
your
it.
email address and that's associated with the account and the money gets sent. I don't understand how this
no
isn't a thing.
fees usually.
Yeah.
No fees.
I mean, years ago, I was in North Carolina for a friend's wedding, went out for some barbecue at Lancaster's, and I tried to tap the credit card, and they were looking at me like I was from another planet. They're like, no, what the hell is this?
don't.
I'm like, well, we just tap it back home. They're like, no, you swipe it, and I'm going to give you a thing, and you're going to sign it. I'm like, what year are we in, man? Like, this is insane. But, yeah, just another...
Well, I looked it up beforehand just in case I didn't know how to pronounce it, because I don't follow college football like at all. I understand he's like one of the top prospects and everything.
You only
but
know him through George's tweets.
basically yes, in a way. So that's on me. No excuses.
Yeah. This was the national darts draft, though. You'd get everyone's name correct.
I would accurately pronounce probably the world's top 200 dart players. I would say, yeah. Confident in that.
All right, let's get to Kentucky Derby here, Jacob.
Well, the Kentucky Derby always brings out the sports bettors who, for one day and one day only, are experts on horse racing, and even more so when there's additional handicapping involved, because for this iteration of the Kentucky Derby, there was some inclement weather at play on top of it. Mm-hmm. Rob tweeted out, this is from 2023, I think, actually.
I retweet it every year, I think.
It's funny how many people became horse racing experts overnight, and Hubie at Gaming Inc. CEO says, sad that all of these track condition experts and handicapping gurus will go back to grinding the top-down game tomorrow, #circle back. There were a lot of people jumping on this. Sportsbook Consigliere says 15 minutes to Kentucky Derby. Wet track and more confused than ever. Lists out a bunch of the horses that are racing in there. Is that who he bet? I'm not sure.
No, I think that's just a lot of the horses that were in there, yeah.
This good luck if you bet it. Really feels like nobody knows shit. Before the really feels like nobody knows shit, that looks like AI could have written that. Does it not? That looks like grok text.
I've met Sportsbook Consig before, Dave Sherapan. He doesn't strike me as an AI guy.
No.
No, I know. I'm not suggesting you use AI to write. I'm just saying it's written like it's written like a Magic Johnson tweet where it's just stating
about
the
to say
facts
that.
very blankly, essentially.
I like his shtick.
Big fan.
Nobody knows shit. That's one of my favorite
Okay.
shticks. It's kind of I like that. Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, who does ultra right-wing content, says sovereignty just beat journalism to win the Kentucky Derby. Welcome to America.
100 of those.
In
yeah.
in 2020.
Low hanging
Wrote
fruit tweet.
itself.
Yeah, I'm sure it did numbers. For
Awesome,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
Trent said, throwback to last year when this guy gave me 15 horses to pick the winner of the Derby, and I lost. How does he do it, man? How does he do it? Honestly, he flies up for the Leafs game. They lose game 5. Every time there's a mortal Mega Max, he said I would bet my entire net worth Vlad doesn't hit a home run today. He hits his first home run of the season. How does he do this? Is it just, am I only seeing the bad ones? Do I not see the good ones?
But he's pretty good. He does, I think perception, perception meets reality a little. Like, he's got a great.
There's got to be a little bit of
He's
substance
also
to this.
shaped the narrative himself.
Yes.
like he,
for sure.
like he is pretty much he is a coin flipper.
And he plays into it, and he has a good time,
Exactly.
and looks like he goes to a lot of places. So.
Yeah. Credit to him. Next one here comes from George Riley Panagak. This is the, we'll say, the African-American variant of GRP wins. It says, I bet sovereignty today at Churchill Downs. Mom was happy I got a win. Amanda Vance got very drunk and needed to be kicked out. Using my winnings to bet more on Hurricane series, and the AI that made the photo mistook hurricanes for Cane's fried chicken. Put him in a Cane's fried chicken jersey. Yeah.
Raising,
yeah.
Raising Canes.
Yeah.
I
Raising
love
Cane's.
Raising Canes.
Yeah,
by
that's
the way.
it. And then Big Cat said, got another kidney stone, but still betting all the races today. Time to get hot. Yes, Rob, you opened it up with the Kentucky Derby in general, and people who try to handicap it and become experts in horse racing. You see this phenomenon every year, and it really irks you.
Well, it's not. It's actually, it doesn't irk me at all. Like, Derby Day is very special to me because sports betting has kind of been ruined for me over the years. When me and Geoff first became friends, when we were coworkers in the early 2010s, we were both rec bettors, and we were basically like Barstool at the time, essentially, right? Like, just way ahead of our time, where we were producing this type of betting content, and it was really fun. But I eventually lost a lot of money, learned how to win, and now I think about betting through this expected value lens, right? It's really hard for me to just throw. I can't handicap
it is
something.
so hard for him.
Yeah.
Like, literally golfing or hanging out, to get just an opinion out of Pizzola that doesn't have to do with expected value. And you think this guy, he watches the fucking games.
Yeah.
And he's reprogrammed himself so hard that he cannot do it.
I can't.
Yeah.
I literally am incapable, but Derby Day is the only day that I can.
Good for you.
Where I can just take a step back and literally, what Dave Sherapan said, nobody knows shit. To me, that applies for Derby Day. It's we can all handicap the Kentucky Derby like we're some fucking experts in equine analytics or something. I'm looking at race sheets and what the weather's going to be, and we're all doing this stuff and convincing ourselves that we might be uncovering some sort of truth that is not factored into the price or whatever. I can mentally convince myself of that on Derby Day, and that's why the event for me is it's kind of sacred almost, where I it's just the one day a year where it's yeah, I'm gonna do this, and even if I put all the time and effort of my entire life into handicapping this race, I may not actually be better than some average guy who's just throwing darts. And that to me makes the Derby Day great. Twitter on Derby Day is fantastic. The content that's out there of people, again, who've convinced themselves they've uncovered something, this horse descended from Secretariat. I saw that a lot this week. They all descended from Secretariat. Every horse in the race. But it's just, I don't know. There's something about it for me that makes it a can't miss sporting event. And some people don't understand that. They're it's just horse racing. It's 2 minutes. That 2 minutes is so fucking exciting when I'm watching. It's kind of my taste of still being.
It's like betting a first basket. It's over quickly, but you get a real rush watching that minute
I would
or
agree
two.
with that. But you also plan for it the entire day. At least I do.
Right.
Versus a first basket.
Yeah.
Where it's a little bit different. You guys don't strike me as horse racing guys.
No.
Even though you have a fucking dairy boy horse on your hat today.
Yeah, I'm a poser.
Yeah.
No, it's just never done it for me. I honestly wouldn't have known it was the Kentucky Derby this weekend if my buddy hadn't mentioned it. Didn't watch it. There was so much sports on this weekend as well.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know when it's starting. I find the logistics of it weird. I don't particularly care about watching horses. It's not an interesting sport to me. I do agree that if you bet on it and watch those 2 minutes, it is an electric 2 minutes, but just never been for me, unless if there's a Triple Crown or something historic coming, then maybe I'll watch some horse racing, but otherwise it's just not for me.
I think it's a great sign that like people want to be fake experts.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone that this year didn't even watch the race. If it was any of the 6 hours earlier, I would have. But it's like 7 o'clock.
You just
Got
watched.
3
You
kids?
just watched the Jays give up a grand slam
Oh, I
to lose
was
in the ninth. Jacob was at that game.
Yeah,
It,
fuck me.
that grind.
You know,
like,
the only reason I watched the Derby was because the game ended then, and I got to a bar right before it started. Otherwise, I wouldn't have watched it.
anyhow, just like so it's not like a tent pole. Like it's not like mandatory. I have to get home if I have a plan. Like it's being dropped
Right.
to watch it. That being said, like watching it, betting it, like the rush inside your body, like it's a feeling. You can feel alive. Like just to see that you're alive. Put a few bucks on a horse race, you'll feel. That being said, I get how like hardo gamblers sometimes, or even hardo horse guy, can get like offended that like people are acting like experts in a horse race. That being said, it is like you might not know the horses. I know this might sound like really corny. You know, like the track, you've watched it 30 times in your life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to have like opinions on what you think might happen. I don't think you've uncovered anything.
Yeah.
But I don't think, and I think that's just healthy, good for, like the sport needs people to wanting to be experts on that day. It's like a big boxing fights. I don't watch boxing fights.
Right.
But I'll watch like a huge one. And that day maybe I'll be an expert, but I've watched enough huge fights in my life to maybe have an opinion.
But like even if you are, so like on this channel before, I've interviewed Dennis Montoro, Colorado-based bettor who specializes in horse racing. And he talked about how challenging it is to win at horse racing. A lot of groups win because of rebates and stuff like that. But if you bet horse racing as a profession, you can't be upset about all these people parading. Like they're contributing to the money pool on that specific day, right? There's like a lot of dumb money that comes into the market on that day. So why would you be upset as a sharper bettor?
And you could probably use your expertise in a sense that there's like so many different markets or prop markets in something like that, that if you're a true expert, it's like a college basketball Saturday. There's like 80 bets or something.
Yeah.
You can find
Head-to-head
3 or 4
matchups on horses.
that like you have something on.
Yeah. But I like my Saturday, I was thinking to myself at first, I'm like, I'm just going to find a couple people I respect and then like I'll tail them. And I'm friends with Drew Dinsick, whale_capper on Twitter, and NBC sends him out to the event every year. So he's there at the track. I'm like, you know what? I think I'll message Drew and you see what he's betting and I'll tail along. Then like an hour later, I'm like, fuck Drew. I'm going to fucking handicap this thing myself. Like, what does Drew know that I don't? He obviously knows a lot more about horse racing than I do, but like, it's just that day. And I didn't post pics to Twitter this year like I normally do. Not because I don't want to be called out, but like, I just kind of wanted to have my day and enjoy it. But I also love the victory lapping of Kentucky Derby wins and how people think they are truly now the God's gift to men. I love the entire experience of that.
I would say if I did like have to be at the hospital, like for a long period of time, stuck in a waiting room, stuck in a room, seeing the doctor, I think Derby Day would be a good day.
Oh, amazing.
Like I wouldn't want that to, like, yes, on an NFL Sunday I could watch for 7 hours, but I love it too much. Like I like the Derby, it's just like such a perfect betting thing where I could literally just be waiting for the doctor, waiting for someone to see me all day, losing money, betting races. Seems like a decent way to have to be stuck in a hospital, minus pain, of course.
Yes. Yeah. My wife used to be a veterinarian. She's not anymore, but she used to be back in the day. And you best believe when those horses are walking out on the track, I'm calling her in. And I'm like, what do you see here? Like, tell me, whatever. And she's like, like, this one, like, got a good ass. Like, it's, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, that one, like, is a long shot. I'm starting to question her opinion. She's like, this one, I don't. He's very distracted by, the female that they bring up next to him. I don't know that he's got, but I'll do anything to convince myself that I'm going to be able to get some sort of edge. I do love Derby. I like the whole Triple Crown, especially if you have a horse that's going for the Triple Crown at the Belmont. Derby would actually be bucket list for me one day, Churchill Downs, although it's like jammed, a couple 100,000
It seems like you can't actually go to care about seeing the race.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
just
to
going
yeah,
to
it's
be
more
in
of
the
the experience.
infield, getting wasted.
Yeah.
Over betting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's just like a one-time I just like to say that I did it, or like I live for experiences in life. Like that's part of the allure of accumulating wealth. It's not to have nice things. Like I don't care about having nice things. It's about experiencing things. That's like important stuff to me. Because I can always like look back on that stuff and like remember it. Whereas, just having an extra 2 rooms in the house that I'm never going to use, it doesn't do anything for me. But Derby gives me all that. And this tweet fucking is all there.
Ever had your deposit blocked right before a big bet? Ever needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but you hit your ATM limit? Listen, I've had experiences like this, so I'm sure you have had them as well. You never know when you're going to get that message about a big edge somewhere. You've got to fill your account quickly before it evaporates, and you just can't get that money in there in time. Your bank blocks your deposit. Maybe you get the deposit through, but it takes 30 minutes for that deposit to process, and all of a sudden, you can't get down on that huge edge that you wanted. Well, that situation arises no more with EdgeBoost. EdgeBoost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. EdgeBoost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and where you need it, without the delays that can come with traditional banks. For you high rollers, you can move up to $250,000 a day on your EdgeBoost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. It gets better. Every time you deposit into qualified gambling accounts, you earn cash back rewards up to 0.5%. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. EdgeBoost is a debit account that makes it easy to get started with no credit checks, no minimum balance, and no usage fees. Simply verify your identity and you're ready to go. Finally, EdgeBoost is a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to www.edgeboost.bet. That's www.edgeboost.bet, or just go to the link in the description and sign up to EdgeBoost today. Well, yeah, this is a good segue into the new segment that we're going to be bringing onto the show, Return Fire, where you guys want to air
It's a pretty sick graphic there, Jacob.
Oh, I didn't make it. It's a graphic from a PS1 game by the same name, Return Fire. That just looked pretty cool for the segment. But you want to air grievances with the A-Team on the other show.
It's not necessarily. There's a lot of.
Wait, are you saying they're the A-Team or we're the A-Team?
Because Jacob hosts that show, he's by default.
Wow, so we have a traitor.
Well, he's got he's on either A-Team, whichever one would be the A-Team.
This is Team 1, and that's A-Team.
Oh, nice. Good save.
I like that.
This is going to turn in to Kanish just roasting us for 4
It's
minutes.
an opportunity to respond to
I
things.
I'm so down
but
for
one
that.
but I wanted to segue it because one of the things I showcased from the previous segment was George Riley Panagak talking about Amanda Vance getting too drunk because there was a video Amanda Vance posted of herself apparently missing the race because she was busy either getting more drinks or drinking. And on the previous show, we did a segment discussing, or it was in the chopping block of Amanda Vance saying she's not an alcoholic and she's fine and she just likes to drink and watch sports and stuff. But you noted something about that, Rob.
I did. So
Vance.
I have a few notes from I listened to every Friday show. I was driving back from Ottawa after the Leafs won. Game 6. It was great. I'm like, I'll listen to this. It's live in the morning.
The reverse trend.
Yes, the reverse trend. It was great. So for context, for those that don't know, there's different processes for each of the shows. So this Tuesday show, me and Jacob basically make the rundown for this show. Kirk and Geoff, they really don't have much of input into what goes in, other than sometimes they'll say, I really want to talk about this week. The Friday show, everybody has input. There is a Google sheet where there's 40 tweets. Anything that's hashtag circle back, it goes in there. And at some point on Wednesday night, every one of them logs in and they put whether they want to talk about it.
Maybe not Nadeau, but
Nadeau is a 50% hit rate on whether he's going to. But Flupp and Kanish always put yes, okay, no. The Amanda Vance alcoholism segment, Kanish put yes, caps with multiple exclamation points. So I'm like, here we go. I'm listening on the drive home. Guy spent 15 seconds talking. He didn't even make a point. I don't know what the fuck he wanted to talk about with this segment. I don't get it. Anytime there is a female involved And Kanish, he's like, I'm going to flame this girl or whatever. He never does. He completely backs out of these situations every single time. The Amanda Vance alcoholic stuff, where she's like, I'm not an alcoholic, okay? She literally said that in the same week where she posts a video, fake video, by the way, with her missing the Kentucky Derby because she went to get a beer. While she's at
the event.
So she's posting a fake, so she's leaning into, so the whole thing with the whole alcoholism thing, or the shtick, it's very cringe. But she created it herself. She showed up on these elf spaces, drinking beers, getting plastered. I argued with her on one of the spaces about hockey betting. She was slurring her words she was drinking. And then she's like, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink or whatever. And then immediately the same week is posting more videos about faking to be an alcoholic. What are we doing here? What are we doing? You're either one or the other. I think the whole thing is cringeworthy, honestly. But Kanish, man. If you're going to put yes on the rundown with multiple exclamation points, make a fucking point rather than just sitting there he said more ums in that 30 seconds than he did make a point, basically.
I mean, at least Kanish knows who he's going to come after this week on their return fire. I was mad at them for not mentioning in debating her alcoholism that the first thing in her Twitter bio is I like to drink.
I didn't notice that.
No, really?
It is Rob, you were probably, it is the first thing. You open up her Twitter. I like to drink. It's been there a while.
Yeah.
It's been there a while because I noticed that way back when she first came in to the elf orbit.
Yeah, you're right.
The first thing on my Twitter handle is I love Phillip Rivers more than you love your mother. Okay, it is essentially, if you want to get to know me.
You should update that to Justin Herbert now. Rivers
Sure.
He's long gone. I heard you swear on Justin Herbert's ACL.
Well, I got accused of buying elf Twitter followers.
Yeah. No.
But my point being is the first thing on your Twitter bio is usually authentically what either you're trying to grift yourself as or the thing you are most passionate about.
Yes.
Hers is I like to drink. That's fine. Whatever. She's a pretty girl. Have your drinks. She's still young. We don't even have to debate it.
You like to drink or you don't like. I don't care.
Oh, I just checked. That's not in her bio anymore, actually.
Oh.
I sent you. Well, that's new because someone called her out on it. Because I even screen grabbed you guys in the chat.
I don't remember
last
seeing
week,
that.
and it was there.
I after that segment, maybe.
Well, there you go.
It got changed or somebody.
Yeah. So that was sure. That's the cover up. That if you want people to not think you're an alcoholic, it would be very smart to remove that as line number 1 of your bio.
Yes, I would agree with you.
I'm really enjoying the Friday show.
Yeah, I have a few more things on the Friday show. No, just a few. First of all, Nadeau has a very unhealthy obsession with hating on wrestling fans. I don't know what it is about the thing. He fucking hates when adults go to wrestling matches. It's just another soap opera. Adults watch soap operas and reality TV and stuff like that. I don't know. I find it really weird, personally. I also did love his reaction to being accused of sleeping on the show. I thought that was
really funny.
Maybe my favorite clip of any Circle Back ever. The one thing that really got me, though.
Hold on, on Nadeau. Mike Vivian should clip the Nadeau calling him an idiot or all those things and play that for his wife, because Vivian usually plays when we say nice things about him, and his wife's like, get that out of here.
Yeah.
His wife will probably agree with Nadeau.
I agree. That's
so she can she'll like the show.
That is a good idea. You're thinking.
Please do that, Mike.
You're thinking. The one segment that really had me upset, though, was there was this unpaid bet. NBA Green Beans and that Thon Misser guy. Do you know that guy?
We have a Twitter DM relationship.
Got it. Understood. So basically, they had bet on the amount of NBA games that had taken place in the last month or 2 months.
2 months.
For $25K, they agreed to it on Twitter. And NBA Green Beans Brett was wrong because he didn't realize that, one game involves 2 teams. Yeah, so he thought it was double the amount of games. And then he deleted his tweets afterwards. Everyone's deleting tweets these days. Like, they don't exist. Like, no one's going to find out.
And he called out Man in the Library for deleting tweets in our first segment. Very hypocritical,
You know, of course. But, like, all these guys are like, well, obviously, you know, Kanish, flop. He's like, well, obviously it wasn't a real bet. It was just like a bet made in jest. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? They were arguing with each other online. One guy said, I'll bet you 25K. The other guy said, you're on.
Deal, yeah.
Brett quote tweeted it and said, pay me my 25K or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, that's a bet. Like, that's a legally binding wager. They have agreed to terms on something. So I don't know why they just let Brett off the hook for that. As far as I'm concerned, he should be paying 25K, not 1K or whatever they agreed to.
I retweeted it saying it's pretty clear that Brett owes Thon that money. Brett DM'd me, was not happy with me.
He's not going to be happy with me now.
He pretty much called me saying I was like being a meanie bobini. He was like a real baby in the DMs. But yeah, like, just don't strike a deal on Twitter if you don't
just
want.
ask ChatGPT before making the bet.
Yeah,
like I showed in the segment.
He's lucky Thon was being a really nice guy and didn't do it. If Thon had been like, no, you owe me 25K, I would have agreed with him.
The weirdest thing about the whole thing, like, sure, if he mixed up the numbers, that would have been, I mean, bad, but one thing, and whether it's a bet or not would be a separate thing. But in him defending it on a Spaces I was listening to, he made it seem like Google gave him multiple correct answers.
Yeah, no,
and this is a thing where there can only be one correct answer. There's not like there's only one number of, like, true number of the amount of games that were played. There's not a moving number.
No, he said that was like his big reason in his DM. He's like, if you Google it, it says there's this amount of games. I said, okay, if you think you're right, get any arbiter on anyone on gambling Twitter and see who is right. Like, if you think there are 800 games because there are two teams, well, then there's 12 players on a team. So then you could say there are 24 games.
Right.
You could go to an infinite amount of games. So it's quite obvious that there's one game between two teams.
I do wish, Thon, because there's one thing that does separate me from thinking it's like a truly legitimate bet, and I don't disagree really with anything you're saying, in a masterclass by Thon to, like, have that in the back pocket and just wait, because he knows there are people who, like, foam at the mouth to get bread. He's put himself out there enough, so he knew this is going to play so fucking hard. That being said, Thon, like, had a guaranteed winner that he should have, at least any bet I've made. I've never made it to those stakes on the internet. You usually have, like, a DM, like, we have this bet here.
Yeah.
Like, away from the thread.
Yeah.
Every time I've made a real bet on Twitter,
You followed up.
and it's been followed up
Yeah.
with, like, we're good here, yes, and then, like, handshake emoji, fist bump, let's go.
My whole thing on that, though, is very clearly Brett himself thought he had a real bet, because he quote tweeted it afterwards and said, pay me, you're wrong. Like, so now for him to be like, oh, it wasn't, I'm actually surprised those guys I thought, especially Flup of all people, would be like, no, the principle is, like, you make a bet with someone.
But I think Flup's case was, like, you almost have to that bet needs to be, like, double confirmed in the DMs.
No, so I think you're right in the sense that Thon knew he was 100% right, but never expected to collect. Yeah. But in my head, if he had expected to collect, even if he hadn't DM'd, he's in the right.
But if I'm Thon, I would probably try to get that to, like, a number where it is a legitimate bet.
Yeah.
Like, I would try to get into your DMs, okay, 25.
Yeah.
How about we do 5?
Yeah.
Like, a number where it's like, I'm going to get this guy for being so stupid.
Yeah.
But 25 in, like, a brash Twitter thing gives Brett an out to be like, this was just, muck Twitter.
Yeah. Finally, we're going to put the gorilla versus 100 men debate to rest real quickly. But I got to take, like, I take issue with, like, Canisius, and you too, Jacob, you guys are talking about these men like they're the fucking, like, U.S. Navy SEALs that have been trained for... you know what the average size of a man globally is? It's 5'8", 138 pounds. Do you know how small that is? Like, that's, like... I'm done with the argument. We'll never settle it. It's not going to be settled. So we can't go on further here. Kanish is like, oh, yeah, they're just going to coordinate attack. Yeah, have a Chinese guy communicate with an English guy, communicate with an Italian guy, communicate with... Has nobody thought about these things? Anyways...
No, I have not thought about it.
I do think. Listen, there's fair points. The animal is overall a docile animal. 100 people, it is a lot. But to Rob's point, it's not like it's 100 Brock Lesnar's.
It's not. These guys are they're like, oh yeah, the humans have fought in world wars. Yeah, where people fucking knew they were fighting for their country and for. These are just 100 people dropped in with a gorilla. It's like
humans good to minus 150.
Well, wait, I've got one return fire. On Friday, I was renewing my license, so I was out of Service Ontario, and I was just watching in the middle, and the Belichick segment where Nadeau goes, yeah, guys like Belichick, myself, Joey, sometimes you got to do some things to get women, and Kanish's face. Why are you talking about me in this, Nadeau? I was genuinely like having a hard time standing.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard in the middle of Service Ontario. It was so good. One of my favorite moments of Circle Back ever.
I could see like Kanish like getting up in the morning and he goes to the bathroom to brush his teeth. He like looks in the mirror and he sees like Fabio. You know, he sees you know, so Brian Urlacher, like, you know, and it's like a big. There's no way he has like a great representation of who he is.
I don't know that to be Kanish, but I feel like we all have a friend who like looks in the mirror and sees something else looking back at them. You used Brian Urlacher. That was one me and my buddies used with a friend. Like
I was trying to think
early
of a good
2000s, like
a good Lions linebacker, Alex Anzalone. You know,
yeah.
Who else? I was trying to think of a good
white. I mean, you're trying to think of a white linebacker.
Well, of course.
One, yeah.
I mean,
we're white. Yeah,
he's white.
Yeah.
I would not pick a black linebacker.
But yeah, I had a friend like literally all through like university. He looked in that mirror and Brian Urlacher was staring back at him.
All right, chopping block, Jacob.
All right, chopping block for this week starts off with this one from GRP Wins. Brandon at double O'Quinn says GRP Wins might be a legend and a cool dude, but he has never been, in parentheses, sat next to Mike Singletary on a flight talking ball and exchanging plays on airplane napkin school. I don't really understand the need for brackets there, but
parentheses.
Parentheses, whatever,
yes.
Those
are brackets.
Are they?
Yeah, those ones are brackets.
I thought that's the whole point.
No, that's the point. Those are also... Those are parentheses.
All right.
No, I thought it was
I'm lost on this.
I've used both today, if people haven't noticed, and I've practiced saying it with my speech impediment. But GRP replies, "Tell him I said he's overrated."
Yes,
wow.
That's exactly what random guy on a plane is going to do. It's like, hey, by the way, there's this guy on Twitter, Mike Singletary. His name is George. Thinks he's the best bettor of all time. You're overrated. Like that's exactly what we're doing.
George is a Chicago guy.
Yeah. I know.
What is this? He's wearing a Bears hat in his picture.
George has a little bit of
George
has a little bit of main character syndrome.
Yeah, George,
hey, he's honest. He's honest to a fault
literally
sometimes.
strikes me as a guy who might like say to Singletary he is overrated.
He would, but like George is also definitely the only person that is in this thread is responding and saying like, "Tell Mike I said this." Like, who responds that? You know, like, if it was your favorite player, even you, Geoff, would not be like, tell Phillip Rivers I say he's the greatest guy ever. That wouldn't happen.
I might say, tell Phillip I love him. I'll see him at Antonio's induction this summer.
Bad example. Maybe
That's what I would say.
Bad
yeah.
example. Bad example.
Next one is from the Bender Win segment. Didn't quite make it onto the Friday show, but Rob wanted to bring it up today, and it was Bender Win's first ever lock bet that he guaranteed would win. It was Conservative Party of Canada to win election, minus 1,200, and in the end, the Conservative Party did not win. They lost to the Liberal Party, but were at the time very, very large favorites. But yes, this one did not win. Rob, do you care to elaborate on this one?
I will say that this Bender Wins exposed Bender Wins account, obviously there is a narrative here or like a goal to expose Bender Wins. it's a little misleading because I ended up watching this full video. This
is not true.
He did not recommend the Conservative Party to win the election at minus 1200.
Yeah, the minus 1200. I watched the video.
He said that he doesn't like the L word. He doesn't like to use lock, but the Conservatives are minus 175 at BetUS was the book he gave. He said he's been getting down a bunch of money on it for a while now. Tried to get down $1 million. Whether that's not going to happen in maybe if on an exchange, but it's not going to happen at BetUS.
No, but this was like 10 months ago.
Yeah, I know. This was before Trudeau resigned.
Yeah.
and like flipped the entire election. So he did not bet them.
Well,
it moved to minus 1200 after a bunch of people.
This is like months before Trudeau resigned.
Yes,
Oh yes.
yes.
This is
way
it's
before.
resurfaced from a long time ago.
Yeah. So.
It is kind of funny whenever someone says that they have a lock and they would never use a lock and it ends up
And I did not. Has he responded to this? Or
Hold on
addressed
though.
it?
Forget the whatever the lock. The bet lost. He bet it at minus at a good number. It got huge and then it totally flipped. So it went off as a horrible number still. But I believe in this video he said he will repay people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the thing I'll take away. Like you can lose a bet.
Yeah.
You can be confident, think it's a lock. He offered to pay you back if you bet it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly what he said. He said if you got
It's a
it
classic.
before
I'll
this-
take you out to a steak dinner in Vegas if the pick service loses.
But that's why I'm saying, did he address this? Like, have people?
no,
has
because
he,
Bender was starting to get a lot of heat towards the end of 2024, early 20, and he posted something on his Twitter saying Twitter's way too toxic. I'm not posting on here anymore. I think that was in February, and he didn't post until very recently when he was on a hot run, and he resurfaced letting people know that he was on a hot run. So nothing's ever going to come of that. He's absolutely not going to be paying people back the money that they lost on the Conservative Party in the election. It's just it's a gimmick. It's a shtick. It's sell picks at all costs. Who cares what you say? A little bit misrepresented here, but yeah, if you're gonna call something a lock, it has to win. If you're gonna say this is the first ever time you're using a lock, it has to win. I'm this guy kind of become irrelevant now.
And sort of because I interjected with the point that he offered to pay people out. I know Kirk has asked you, did he do any follow-ups?
I haven't seen the only tweet I've seen from him in the last 3 months was at the end of April where he talked about how good of an April he had.
But Bender wins exposed. Does he?
There's tons of these accounts, okay? There's at least a handful of there's a Bender results one which posts his daily picks and tracks the units, which are it's been a bad year for the
Bender races, or he's a car guy.
Yeah, he's in a garage. He posts all the things in the garage.
Yeah, those are racing suits up against the wall. I didn't see a helmet back there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry, just
No, you're very perceptive. It's fine.
just learning about him.
yeah, just checking it out.
Yeah, I've honestly kind of just forgotten that he existed at this point because he's not on Twitter anymore. But I'm sure.
But I saw this and I thought of you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure a lot of people thought of me. I got sent this by a dozen different people on the same day. It's like people were waiting. It's like they had it bookmarked almost. You know? It's almost like they had it bookmarked.
Almost like that at Bookmark.
And they caught it in a timely fashion. Yeah. All right. Keep it moving here.
Not a lock, but a Mega Max from Fozen Poker says account deactivation Mega Max deactivating if the Warriors somehow lose tonight. This was ahead of Game 6 against the Houston Rockets. Family is rooting for this. Plus $20,000 for the playoffs after the Warriors win Game 6. Thanks for the free cash. This account is gone soon, but not tonight. The Warriors did lose Game 6 to the Houston Rockets, and he did deactivate his Twitter account. Wolf of Walgreens says the one guy to deliver on his promise, rip Fozen Poker. But the account was back 12 hours later. He said, if you'd please read the rules, it says nothing about how long I need to be deactivated for. Next time I'll choose a far easier punishment.
Was this a real market on Kalshi?
No, it can't be. It can't be.
12 hours without my beloved Twitter was pure agony. No, it's a very poor Photoshop.
I gotta say, I like Fozen a lot because he roasts Flip a lot. So
Fozen's really funny.
That's a good thing. I will say it's kind of lame when you say you're gonna deactivate and you come back within 12 hours. I'm not saying you have to be offline forever, but maybe give it a week or something like that.
At least
there's got to be a time frame where you got to be Thrill Barton he took that to one extreme. Like that's the if David Bote ding dongs here, I'll never tweet again. And David Bote did, and he's never tweeted again. He's been gone from Twitter for years.
He uses one time on that one.
But you should, like, if you're Fozon, if you're going to return, I guess, like, I don't know, return, like, some big moment. I don't know. I'm trying to make some big moment. I don't know.
Return
Who
the
cares?
dunk on Flup.
Yeah,
you know what
like
I'm saying?
after the Cavs lose or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Like, pick up a good spot.
Until then, be like Sting in the rafters.
Yes.
But go back to the tweet before. This is such a funny move. Plus 20,000 for the playoffs after the Warriors win Game 6. Like, just already counting the cash.
So now he's up plus 4,000 or so, plus 3,000.
Well, plus 20,000 for the playoffs after the Warriors win. So subtract 9,600. So he's at 10,400.
Yeah, but he also lost.
And he lost
But he lost
6,500.
So he's at like 4,000 basically, plus 4,000 for the playoffs. Anyways,
Tough
good
one.
news.
And
Good salute.
Tough swing.
That's just a funny, like, the guy is confident. It's hard to
I like
disagree with
the
that.
account. I love the account.
Totally.
It's a great account.
And hold on, they're like, I know there's this whole thing with Spinfluencer and someone, we didn't get to talk about it, but being offered to pay for his account being deleted.
Yeah,
We talked about it on one of the Fridays.
On the Friday show. Like, if any of those, like, I've pissed off some fucking whales before. Like, if I'll entertain an offer.
You're going to give up
Shipper?
your Twitter account for an offer?
30K?
That's the floor.
What? Just promise
Does that
me,
not mean I can't?
promise
Does
me-
that mean, hold on, does that mean I can't, like, I can still do shows?
Sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
promise me that if you ever get an offer where you're going to sell, you will come to me.
Yeah, of
before you
course.
take the deal.
I come to you with a lot of
Okay,
offers.
Okay. I just want.
I just mean, I seem to have pissed off over the years. Some people fucking hate me or are the smartest people in the room.
It's going to be a good segue to that.
So if they want to pay to get rid of, like, I got a fucking price.
Yeah, good segue.
Well, perhaps a couple people may be interested in such a payment, as Mr. Peanut Butter points out here.
I'm available.
Sees tweet, thinks, I don't know about that one. That's pretty dumb. Probably should just let it slide. 80% of the time, the top reply to that tweet is either ship to justice, so shipper, or Diggs saying, hey, dumb fuck.
It's actually so true that it's
That's such a good tweet.
It's such a good tweet.
That's a
it
really
actually
good tweet.
is so true. It's like it's perfect. It's like he summed it up perfectly. There's so many times where I see a tweet, I'm like, I will say, since having Diggs on Circles Off, we have like a line of communication. So if I see something really dumb that I don't want to personally flame,
You'll send it to him.
Yeah, I might be like, oh, have you seen? Not like just like, have you seen this? And most of the time he won't go in, but every now and then he will.
Oh, I see
Like,
what you're
You know what
doing.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get off of the just like
You've got
basically-
he's like a henchman.
I don't
want
to be Kirk on Twitter.
No, but he's a henchman. Like, I don't want to
I
do this.
don't want to say that either. Like he's
You
not.
don't want to call. It's exactly what you're doing. I've done it before, I think, with some golf stuff. Like,
But
I feel like
I'm
I
not
don't.
super influential in getting him to fight the battles for me. I'm
No,
just
but
saying,
you
like,
show something so stupid that he can't help himself.
yeah.
That's a henchman.
This is such a good tweet, man. Like in the Google sheet we have for good tweets at the end of the year, Jacob, make sure this one goes in there because
Great
it
tweet.
really hits
Okay.
home. Like Shepard especially. It's so good, man. Hey, dumb fuck. The way it's capitalized is so good. I love
Perfect
that.
tweet. It's a perfect tweet.
Yeah.
This one comes from Charlie Marlowe. It says, Billy, this is Connor Hellebuck. He's the best goalie in the NHL in the regular season and at home in the playoffs. The problem is when he's at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, he's basically Stevie Wonder in net. Gives credit to @Moneyball memes for the photo. It's a photo of Jonah Hill's character in Moneyball talking to Brad Pitt's character about these lesser-known players that analytics favors essentially that have these quirks. Anyways, Hellebuck, one of the best, if not the best goalies in the NHL.
Yeah.
Horrific in all 3 games away from home in the playoffs because he got pulled, I think. I think he got pulled in all 3 games, but the Jets did win Game 7 by some miracle.
What a win last night.
That was awesome.
What a game.
It was
Awesome.
incredible. I actually was able to I was at a concert, so I missed most of the game, but I caught most of the second overtime. So that was
And you know the thing in Canada, how like people think, we've spoken about it before, but people think you cheer for other Canadian teams.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not the case.
That was a hate watch for
But
me.
Winnipeg is actually, I don't know what, like fuck Ottawa, fuck Montreal, Vancouver. I can't stand them or their fans.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, so harmless and
yeah.
innocent.
Yeah.
Like I
Disagree.
always root for. Well, I don't know what your beef is, but I'm always rooting for
It's
Winnipeg.
a tougher one for me because
They
I
lost
have
their
some-
team.
I know, but I have some connections to Jordan Binnington, like a really good friend of
so
mine.
that's different.
Was
That's
a
that's
goalie
different.
tandem with him in junior. So yeah,
I just don't have like even close to the vitriol I have for other
I
Canadian
agree with you there.
I
teams.
agree.
Winnipeg to me is
Totally.
by far the most likable other Canadian team, other than Toronto.
It's for me. They needed to be brought back down to earth a little bit, which was the exact opposite of what happened. It's just they think too much of their team for what it is, and
They
then
have nothing.
They pull off one of the
No
most
offense.
astonishing comebacks Game 7
Yeah,
history.
the only thing is, I want the Leafs to be the team that like is the first Canadian
Yeah, of
team
course.
to win since whatever.
I don't want
So
the Jets
that's
to
why
win.
I don't want Winnipeg to
Yeah,
win the cup.
fair
But
enough.
otherwise, totally agree.
So it would have been the early 90s. Montreal was the last one that won. Just with this tweet, generally speaking, when I first started betting hockey seriously and doing really well with it, would lose almost every single playoffs. The models I was used were trained off regular season data. It obviously doesn't apply. As time has gone on, I'm like unquestionably believe that there are such thing as like playoff performers and playoff chokers. And I don't know, maybe Hellebuck goes on a run here. He did sweep the Oilers one series that nobody talks about. I think it was 2021 where he played really well. But he has, like, for being the best goalie on earth, has a pretty large sample of being a shit goalie in the playoffs. And, like, to me, there's got to be something there.
Is this just hockey?
No, I think
Oh,
every sport.
basketball is
Like,
every-
Yeah,
that's what I
he was
mean.
getting a lot of James
Basketball,
Harden
like, you could probably say
comparisons.
the
Harden,
same.
game sevens, right?
But
Yeah.
baseball, you could argue it's somewhat different, just how the pitchers are used.
Clayton Kershaw used to be labeled
Yeah,
like this.
Kershaw was
Yeah.
a choker. Jeter was the guy who used to rise to the occasion in the playoffs all the time, right?
Like a year ago, this time Xander Schauffele was like a loser, and then he won 2 majors.
But I've said this on this show before. You're a loser until you're
Yeah,
not.
of course.
Ovechkin was the choker. But then, guess what? Then he won, and he's not the
same
choker.
with Kershaw. Same with
Peyton
Kershaw.
Manning
Yeah.
could not win, and then once you win once,
Yes.
you can win. Like, it doesn't matter what stage of your career you're in.
Exactly.
There's still someone like George betting Zach Johnson
Yes.
to win. Like, you won once. I'll live bet Danny Willett, and I'll have my Zach Johnson bet because you won once. I can trust you.
Exactly.
Next one here comes from Jersey Jerry. This is the last one.
What?
Jersey Jerry works with Barstool, says, first time using the bathroom on an airplane. For some reason, I always had a fear of using them. I only went number 1, but I would would do it again. Not so bad.
This feels like bait.
This
Rob, you
feels
wanted
like-
this one.
Hold on. This feels like he didn't. I'm not saying it, but like just circumstances. He probably didn't go on like many family airplanes.
You could. These are all short. Has this guy ever been outside of North America?
Probably
There's no
not.
way he's flown to
He flies
Europe
Chicago
or Asia
to New
before
York.
and not.
There are
taken
a lot of
week.
Americans who just don't have passports. It's pretty strange.
Honestly, it sounds so stupid.
Yeah.
But sometimes on an airplane, I'll go to the washroom for the same reason. When I was in the 6th grade, I said, I gotta just stand up and fucking get out
totally.
of here
Yeah.
for a minute. Like
I'm-
that's it. Like sometimes I don't even have to go.
I'm an
I
aisle
just
guy.
wait in line.
I'm an aisle guy. I like the freedom of being able to get up and move around and not having to have other people get up. This is weird, man. I will say, like,
I don't think I've ever done a number 2 on a plane.
I've never
I'd
taken
have
a
to
shit on
like.
a plane.
I would have to.
Never.
It would have to be. I'd have to be dying. It's
no,
coming
I've just
up.
never had to. Like,
Yeah.
I try to shit at the airport before I get on the plane. It's like a con.
Yeah, I've been on some long ass planes.
Yeah.
I've
I
never.
know.
I mean, I will go to the bathroom if I like. We're getting into real details here. Like, I don't want to like fart next to my wife and like stink up the plane. So like if I got to rip one, I'll just head to the bathroom. That's very common for me.
Definitely TMI, but I would try very hard not to have to shit on a plane.
Yeah,
But
if you
one
have to.
time I had an unfortunate meal at an airport right before
yeah.
a flight to England. So that was
What are you gonna do?
Down bad.
It's there
Really
for that
bad
reason.
flight.
Yeah.
It's there for that reason.
But that's why I sit aisle.
This
so
just
I
makes-
can get up a lot.
I mean, what would be bad about going? Like, I only went number 1, but I definitely would.
There
do
are
it again,
worse
not so
places to
bad.
piss than an airplane.
Like I've been pissing on an airplane before where you have like some turbulence,
Yeah.
and I'm tall already, so like a lot of the bathrooms, I'm not standing straight. I'm like, my
You gotta,
body is
you gotta
firm.
like wedge your
Very
arms
small.
against the
Yeah,
wall.
so like I get the
There's a social contract that exists in airplane washrooms that like doesn't exist in say like a festival porta potty.
yes.
Right? There's like a social contract
Yeah.
that like everyone on this plane is
It's
sort
using
of-
this,
Yeah,
treat
yeah.
it like it's your
Yeah.
home,
Like,
you know.
just try not to.
Yes. I'm
Right.
with you. Well said, Jeff.
But I have a question. I don't even know the answer. What do you do? Like, you know that bathroom line is long.
Yeah.
And like you go in there and like there's piss all over the seat.
Yeah.
And it's like
And
you
you
didn't
know-
do that.
you know you're
and
gonna
then
get
you get
framed.
out there and you walk out there and you make eye contact with this person like you're trying to make eye contact and be like, that shit wasn't me.
Yeah.
But like feeling
Well, what's your alternative? Like when you need,
I'm
not
not
going to
cleaning
wipe
up
someone
someone
else's
else's
piss
yeah,
off the
that's what I
seat.
mean. I'm not cleaning. You're not my child. I'm not cleaning up someone else's piss.
That is a bad situation. It always
in
reminds
any
me.
public washroom, not just an airplane.
It always reminds me of like an old Jonah Hill story, which he was talking about, where he was on like a flight with some girl he was dating or something like that, and he went into the bathroom, and I guess whoever was in there before had taken a shit, and it fucking reeked.
And then she's next.
So yeah, he opened the door, got out, and like she went in, and he's like, oh. It's like it wasn't me. Like she's like, yeah, sure, you know, like
Yeah, if you're in that scenario, you got to just speed race in and out.
yeah.
Make sure that the person behind.
Oh,
knows
it's true.
you're-
I wasn't
you're-
in there
you're
long
quick.
enough
Yeah, exactly.
to. Yeah,
that
that,
couldn't
sorry.
have been me.
But then
Math,
maybe
the
they think
math.
you didn't wash your hands though.
No. The simple math.
Yes, exactly.
The math can't math if it's just like you speed pee. and
I've
you're
never
done.
thought about.
There's
these
no
things.
like calculation. It's just like a thought. Like it wasn't in there that long.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like, oh, it's only there a minute. What the hell?
I don't think about that. Like I've had those experiences before. Piss all over the toilet seat. I just piss and I just move.
Yeah,
on.
I don't think about that
I don't
either.
Think
I
about
just
like what's the next.
It's
person.
a public bathroom. They should assume that
got-
there's nasty people.
Yeah, you're thinking about it too much, Jeff.
I think about a lot of things too much.
You're never gonna see these people again in your life.
Yeah, but there's still that 2.5 hours we're on the airplane, Rob.
Sure. I guess I don't
You
care
know what?
people
If you're
think
on
about me.
vacation too, you might like just run into them a bunch of times in
Yeah.
the trip. You ever have those?
Yeah.
That random person you see like
From your
5
flight?
times?
100%.
That happened to me in Greece. This guy was pissing me off on the flight there, and I just kept fucking seeing this guy everywhere I went. Like he was listening to like TikToks on his
Curb
phone on
episode.
the airplane.
Oh,
And I'm
There's a
thinking,
special
fuck this
place in
guy.
hell for people
Hell,
who don't
hell.
wear headphones and fucking.
Yeah,
No,
and then
in
I
public
just
places?
every stop my trip, I kept seeing this guy. I was on Greece, so I was doing island tour. I get on a boat to a different island. I'm like, hey, I won't see that guy again. He's fucking 3 rows in front of me watching more TikToks without headphones. It was crazy.
My daughter's 8.
Yeah.
I like to think by the time, say, she's like 16, society will have gotten this. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just a new technology where people are doing it at their own leisure.
Yep.
At some point, I feel like we will hit a line where like it is so. Like obviously I fucking hate it.
It'll
Even if
it'll
I'm
become like
sitting-
smoking.
If I'm sitting in a
public.
McDonald's and you're at the table next to me listening to your fucking show at full volume, I'm like, I want to tell you off. I'm just too polite to.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
all this talk about pissing, and I've drank a full Red Bull, so I'm gonna wrap it up right now because I'm gonna be doing a dance in my seat right now. Like, subscribe, do all that jam. Leave us a comment down below as well, and of course, back on Friday with what Jacob terms as the A team. I don't necessarily agree, but they do put on a good show. So tune in Friday for another episode of Circle Back presented by Underdog. Peace out, everyone.